I slammed the apartment door so hard the walls shook, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. "She's gone. Jeff. Gone for good this time," I yelled, collapsing onto the worn-out leather couch that had seen too many late-night confessions. Jeffrey, my roommate of 2 years, froze in the kitchen doorway, his coffee mug suspended mid-air, his eyes widening with a mix of shock and something deeper I couldn't quite place. The breakup with Sarah had been brewing for months, her endless accusations of me being distant, emotionally unavailable. But tonight, it exploded. She threw her engagement ring at me in the middle of Central Park, screaming that I was living a lie. I didn't know what she meant then, but as I sat there sobbing, Jeffrey crossed the room in 3 strides and pulled me into a hug. His arms were strong, familiar from all those bro hugs after bad days at work, but this time, his touch lingered. "Jason, man, I'm here," he whispered, his breath warm against my neck. And just like that, the world tilted. We'd met at NYU, 2 small-town guys from opposite coasts. Me from rural Texas, him from sunny California. Jeffrey was the outgoing one, always dragging me to parties or impromptu road trips upstate. I was the quiet engineer, buried in blueprints and code, while he chased his dream as a freelance photographer, capturing the raw grit of New York life. Our Brooklyn apartment was a mess of camera gear and my scattered drafting tools, but it worked. Until now. That night, after I calmed down, we cracked open a 6-pack on the fire escape, overlooking the twinkling lights of the city that never sleeps. "Tell me what happened," Jeffrey said, his voice steady like an anchor. I spilled it all, the fights, the doubts, how Sarah said I looked at other people in a way that made her jealous. "Other people?" he echoed, arching an eyebrow. I shrugged, but deep down, I knew. There were glances I'd stolen at guys in the gym, thoughts I'd buried under layers of denial. Growing up in Texas, you didn't talk about that stuff. You played football, dated cheerleaders, and kept your secrets locked tight. Jeffrey listened without judgment, his hazel eyes reflecting the neon glow from the street below. As the beer flowed, he shared his own story, how he'd come out in high school, faced the backlash from his conservative family, but found freedom in the anonymity of the big city. "It's okay to question, Jason. Life's too short for pretending." His words hit like a freight train. By midnight, we were laughing about old college pranks, but there was an undercurrent, a spark I couldn't ignore. When he leaned in to wipe a tear from my cheek, his fingers brushed my skin, and time stopped. Our lips met in a tentative kiss, soft and exploratory, like testing the waters of a hidden lake. I pulled back, heart racing. "Jeff, what the hell?" But he just smiled, that crooked grin that always got him out of trouble. "I've been waiting for you to see it, dude." "See what? That I'd been blind to my own desires? That the roommate I'd shared everything with, bills, bad takeout, heartbreak, was the one who made me feel truly seen?" We talked until dawn, unraveling years of suppressed feelings. By morning, I was terrified but exhilarated. This was new territory, a world I never imagined existed right under my nose. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Jeffrey showed me the city's hidden gay scene, not the flashy clubs, but quiet spots like cozy cafes in the village where couples held hands without fear. We walked hand in hand through Washington Square Park, the autumn leaves crunching under our feet, and for the first time, I felt alive. No more pretending. At work, I buried myself in projects at the engineering firm, designing sustainable bridges for the Hudson. But my mind wandered to him. Texts buzzed constantly. Miss you already? With a photo of a street mural that screamed our story. But doubts crept in. My family back home, Mom with her Bible study group, Dad with his hunting buddies, would never understand. I hadn't told them about Sarah yet, let alone this. Jeffrey sensed my turmoil. One evening, as we cooked pasta in our tiny kitchen, he wrapped his arms around me from behind. We take it slow, Jason. No pressure. His kisses trailed down my neck, igniting a fire I'd never known. That night, we made love for the first time, clumsy and passionate, the city sirens fading into the background. It was more than physical, it was emotional surrender. As winter approached, our bond deepened. We spent Thanksgiving volunteering at a LGBTQ shelter in Harlem, serving turkey to kids who'd been kicked out for being themselves. Seeing their resilience mirrored my own journey. Jeffrey's photos from that day captured raw humanity, smiles amid struggle. "This is us," he said, pinning one to our fridge. But beneath the romance, cracks formed. Jeffrey started getting late-night calls, stepping out to the fire escape to whisper. "Just work stuff," he'd say, but his eyes darted away. One night, couldn't sleep. I grabbed his phone, guilt gnawing at me, and saw texts from someone named Alex. "Miss our nights. When are you free?" My world shattered. Confrontation came at dawn. "Who the hell is Alex?" I demanded, voice breaking. Jeffrey's face paled. "An ex. It's nothing, Jason." I ended it when we started, but the messages suggested otherwise, flirty, recent. Betrayal hit like a punch. "You lied to me," I stormed out, wandering the cold streets, tears freezing on my cheeks. I ended up at a dive bar in Queens, nursing whiskey, questioning everything. Was this all a rebound? A phase? Hours later, Jeffrey found me. "Please, let me explain." We argued under the flickering neon sign, voices echoing off brick walls. He admitted to seeing Alex once after our first kiss, scared of committing fully. "I was afraid you'd run back to straight life." His vulnerability cracked my anger. We hugged, forgiving in the way only love allows. But trust was bruised. Christmas brought more tension. I flew home alone, dodging questions about Sarah. "You'll find the right girl," Mom said, oblivious. Back in New York, Jeffrey surprised me with a rooftop picnic under string lights. "I choose you, Jason." Every day, we danced to old jazz records, the Empire State Building glowing in the distance. Felt like redemption. Yet, the new year ushered in storms. Jeffrey's photography gig took him to LA for weeks, and distance amplified insecurities. Phone calls turned tense. "Are you seeing Alex again?" I'd accuse. "No, but your paranoia is killing us," he'd retort. One fight escalated. I hung up, slamming my phone. That night, I hit a club alone, drowning sorrows in shots. A guy named Mark bought me a drink, and in my haze, we kissed. Regret hit instantly. Confessing to Jeffrey was agony. "I messed up," I sobbed over video call. His silence was deafening. "How could you?" he finally said, tears streaming. We were both guilty of betrayal, mirrors of each other's fears. The relationship hung by a thread. Spring brought renewal. We agreed to therapy, a neutral counselor in Midtown who specialized in LGBTQ couples. Sessions unearthed childhood traumas, my repressed upbringing, his abandonment issues. Slowly, we rebuilt. Walks along the High Line became our sanctuary, hands intertwined, sharing dreams. Jeffrey's exhibit opened in Soho, featuring portraits of us, intimate, vulnerable. "This is our story," he said at the gallery, pulling me close. But fate tested us further. My firm offered a promotion in Chicago. "It's a fresh start," my boss said. Jeffrey's career was rooted in New York. "Don't go," he pleaded one night in our bed, bodies entangled. Torn, I weighed love against ambition. The decision loomed like a shadow. In the end, I turned it down. "You're my home," I told him. We celebrated with a road trip to the Hamptons, waves crashing as we vowed to face whatever came. Life wasn't perfect. Scars from betrayals lingered, but our love was real, forged in fire. The summer heat wave hit New York like a freight train, turning our apartment into a sauna. Jeffrey and I lounged on the fire escape, fans whirring uselessly, sharing a cold beer. "Remember when we first met?" he asked, his fingers tracing patterns on my thigh. I nodded, leaning into him. That awkward dorm room introduction, me with my cowboy boots, him with his surfboard poster, seemed lifetimes ago. Now, we were inseparable, navigating this new world together. Work kept me busy. The engineering firm landed a big contract for a green energy project in Brooklyn. I'd come home exhausted, but Jeffrey's smile lit up the room. He'd cook tacos, play his guitar softly, singing off-key covers of Springsteen. "Born to Run" became our anthem, symbolizing escape from past chains. Weekends, we'd escape to Coney Island, riding the cyclone, screaming like kids, then sharing cotton candy on the boardwalk. His hand in mine felt natural now. No more stolen glances. But shadows from the past resurfaced. Sarah called out of the blue. "Jason, I miss you. Can we talk?" Her voice cracked over the phone. I met her at a neutral spot, a coffee shop in Midtown. She looked the same, blonde hair tied back, but her eyes held regret. "I was wrong to push you away," she said. "We can try again." Temptation flickered. The familiar straight path beckoned. But as I thought of Jeffrey, waiting at home with dinner, I shook my head. "I'm with someone now. Someone who gets me." Her face fell. "A guy." I nodded, pride swelling. Leaving, I felt liberated. Telling Jeffrey stirred mixed emotions. "I'm glad you chose us," he said, but doubt lingered in his eyes. That night, passion reignited, urgent, affirming. We explored each other's bodies with renewed fervor, whispering promises in the dark. Fall brought change. Jeffrey's dad, estranged since his coming out, reached out. "I want to meet the man who's made my son happy," the email read. Nervous, we flew to LA. The reunion at a beachside cafe was tense at first. Awkward hugs, small talk about weather. But as Jeffrey showed his portfolio, pride shone in his dad's eyes. "You've built a life, son." Turning to me, he added, "Take care of him." It was a small victory, but healing. Back home, our circle expanded. We hosted dinner parties with friends, queer artists, straight allies, laughter echoing through the apartment. One guest, Mia, a therapist friend, pulled me aside. "You two glow together." It was true, we'd overcome so much. Yet, conflict brewed. Jeffrey's ex, Alex, reappeared. Not in person, but through a mutual friend at a gallery opening. Alex asks about you, the friend said casually. Jeffrey brushed it off, but I saw the flicker. Later, at home, I confronted him. Do you still have feelings? He sighed. Old flames die hard, but you're my future. Unsatisfied, depressed. Words escalated into shouts. You're always suspicious, he yelled. I stormed out again, crashing at a buddy's place. The next day, remorse hit. I returned with flowers, cliché, but sincere. Jeffrey was packing. I need space, he said, bag in hand. Panic surged. Don't leave. We talked for hours, tears flowing. He admitted Alex had texted, tempting old habits, but he'd deleted them. I choose you, but we need trust. We agreed to couples retreats upstate, workshops on communication. Winter holidays amplified emotions. We decorated a tiny tree, hung mistletoe. Christmas Eve, under twinkling lights, Jeffrey proposed not with a ring, but a key to a new apartment in Chelsea. Let's build our home. Overwhelmed, I said yes. Moving day was chaotic, boxes, laughs, a broken lamp, but symbolic of fresh starts. Spring bloomed with opportunities. My project won an award. Jeffrey's photos went viral. We traveled to San Francisco for Pride, marching hand in hand amid rainbows and cheers. The energy was electric, affirming our place in the world. But high came with low. A health scare. Jeffrey's persistent cough led to tests. It's just bronchitis, the doctor said, but fear gripped us. Nights, I held him, whispering, we're in this together, past, but reminded us of fragility. Summer again. We road-tripped cross-country, Route 66. Diners, motels. In the Grand Canyon at sunset, we renewed vows informally. Through betrayals and doubts. I love you, I said. He echoed, kissing me as stars emerged. Back in New York, life stabilized. We mentored at the shelter, giving back. Our story inspired others. One kid, kicked out like Jeffrey once was, found hope in us. You made it, he said. We had scarred, but stronger. The crisp autumn air in Central Park carried the scent of roasted chestnuts as Jeffrey and I strolled hand in hand, leaves crunching beneath our boots. It had been a year since that fateful breakup with Sarah, and our love felt unbreakable. Can you believe it? Jeffrey mused, squeezing my hand. From roommates to this, I smiled, pulling him close for a quick kiss, oblivious to passers-by. Work thrived. My engineering designs were featured in a national magazine, praising sustainable innovation. Jeffrey's photography book deal came through, a collection on urban queer life. We celebrated at a rooftop bar in Manhattan, toasting with champagne as the skyline sparkled. To us, he said, eyes shining. But undercurrents stirred. My sister visited from Texas, her eyes widening at our shared bedroom. Jason, is this? I nodded, bracing. She hugged me. As long as you're happy. Relief washed over, but she warned. Mom and Dad might not be so easy, the seed of dread planted. Thanksgiving loomed. We hosted, inviting friends to buffer potential drama. But Jeffrey's mood shifted, distant, snapping over small things. What's wrong? I asked. Nothing, he lied. Digging, I found emails from his publisher. Delays, rewrites. Stress mounted. One night, After a fight over chores, he left abruptly. Hours later, a text, at a bar. Need air. Worry nod. I tracked his phone, guilty, but desperate, and found him at a spot in Hell's Kitchen. Inside, he was laughing with Alex. My heart dropped. Confronting them, voices rose. It's just drinks, Jeffrey insisted. Alex smirked. Old friends catching up. Betrayal reignited. I left, hailing a cab through tears. Home alone. Memories flooded. Our first kiss. Promises. He returned at dawn. Apologetic. I was venting about work. Nothing happened, but doubt festered. How can I believe you? We slept apart. The bed cold. Therapy intensified. Our counselor probed. Trust is earned daily. We worked on it, date nights, honest talks. Slowly, mending began. Christmas in LA with his dad strengthened bonds. Proud of you boys, he said, toasting. New Year's Eve, Times Square chaos. Amid confetti, we kissed at midnight. Fresh start, Jeffrey whispered. Hope renewed. Winter brought blizzards. Stuck indoors, we binged shows, cooked stews. Intimacy returned, tender and deep. But my promotion offer resurfaced, Chicago, better pay. Think about it, Jeffrey urged, masking fear. Spring allergies hit Jeffrey hard. Tests revealed more early signs of anxiety disorder. Meds helped, but vulnerability exposed. I feel weak, he confessed. You're strong, I reassured, holding him through panic attacks. Our anniversary. A picnic in the park where it all began. 1 year, I said, gifting a custom photo album. Tears flowed. I almost lost you, he admitted. Summer festivals, pride parades, music fests. We danced freely, surrounded by community. But Alex messaged again. Congrats on the book. Miss you, Jeffrey showed me, deleting it. Transparency built trust. Fall elections stirred debates. As a couple, we volunteered for LGBTQ rights, canvassing neighborhoods. Empowerment surged. Yet, climax approached. My parents visited unannounced. Walking in on us kissing, shock ensued. What is this? Dad bellowed. Mom cried. Arguments erupted, Bible verses versus love. This isn't you, son. I stood firm. It is me. They left angry, disowning threats hanging. Devastated, I broke down. Jeffrey comforted. We'll get through, but the wound deepened. Weeks later, a letter from Mom, praying for you, small hope. Winter solitude. We focused inward, strengthening. Jeffrey's book launched successfully, dedicating it to me. My muse, spring renewal reconciliation attempts. Video calls with parents thawed ice. We love you, they conceded, though uneasy. Our love, tested by fire, emerged resilient. Betrayals forgiven, conflicts resolved. In America's melting pot, we found our place, human, flawed, but profoundly connected. The humid summer evenings in Brooklyn found us on rooftops, sipping craft beers as the sun dipped behind the skyline. Jeffrey's hand rested on my knee, a casual touch that spoke volumes. We've come far, he said, reflecting on the chaos of the past. I agreed, but unease lingered. My parents' tentative acceptance felt fragile, like thin ice. Work demanded more. Overtime on a bridge retrofit project left me drained. Jeffrey's book tour took him across states: Boston, Chicago, LA. Video calls bridged the gap, but loneliness crept in. "Wish you were here," he'd say from hotel rooms. I missed his warmth, the way he fit perfectly against me. One weekend, he returned early, surprising me with tickets to a Yankees game. Tailgating in the parking lot, hot dogs in hand, we cheered amid the crowd. "This is us, normal, happy," he grinned. Normalcy felt earned. Fall winds brought change. My sister announced her wedding in Texas. "Bring Jeffrey," she insisted. Nervous, we flew down. The rehearsal dinner was tense. Whispers, stares. Dad pulled me aside. "He's a good guy. But it's hard." Mom hugged Jeffrey awkwardly. The ceremony was beautiful. We danced at the reception, ignoring judgmental eyes. A step forward. Thanksgiving back home sealed progress. Family dinner, Jeffrey helping in the kitchen. Laughter over old stories. "Welcome to the family," Dad said gruffly. Tears in my eyes. But highs crashed. Jeffrey's tour extended. In Seattle, he met a fan-turned flirt. "Just networking," he claimed, but photos surfaced online, arms around each other. Jealousy flared. Again, I accused over phone. "It's nothing." Argument escalated. He hung up. Silence for days. I drowned sorrows at work happy hours, flirting harmlessly with a colleague. Regret immediate. Confessing upon his return. I was hurt. He forgave, but scars accumulated. Winter holidays, we volunteered more, finding purpose. At the shelter, a young couple reminded us of ourselves, scared, in love. Mentoring them healed our wounds. New Year resolutions. More trust, less fear. Gym routines together, healthy meals. Physical closeness reignited passion. Slow, exploratory nights. Spring blooms. We adopted a rescue dog, Max, a scruffy mutt who bounded into our lives. Walks in Prospect Park became routine, strengthening bonds. But conflict peaked. Jeffrey's publisher pressured for a sequel, stressing him. One night, exhausted, he snapped, "Maybe we need a break." Shock. "What?" Tears. "I'm drowning, Jason. Need space." He left for a friend's couch. Alone, I reflected our journey from discovery to doubt. Friends advised, "Fight for it." I did. "Flowers, letters, please." He returned after a week. I was scared. "Let's fix this." Therapy doubled. Breakthroughs acknowledging fears. We emerged stronger. Summer escape, cabin in the Adirondacks. Hiking, campfires, stargazing. "I love you infinitely," he said, proposing formally with rings. "Yes," I whispered. Back in city rhythm, life hummed. Promotions, exhibits. We bought a brownstone fixer-upper, dreaming of futures. Fall reflections. Anniversaries celebrated with trips. Our story, once turbulent, now a testament to resilience. As winter's first snow blanketed New York, Jeffrey and I stood on our new balcony, watching flakes dance under streetlights. Max barked playfully at our feet. "This is home," I said, leaning into him. He nodded, kissing my forehead. Our journey, from that explosive breakup to this quiet contentment, felt like a novel, full of twists. Challenges persisted. My parents visited sporadically, warming gradually. He's family now, Mom admitted over coffee. Dad shared fishing stories with Jeffrey. Progress, slow but sure. Spring wedding plans. Intimate ceremony in Central Park. Cherry blossoms blooming. Friends gathered. Cheers echoing. Vows exchanged. Through betrayals and storms. I choose you. Rings slipped on. Sealing commitment. Honeymoon in Hawaii beaches. Hikes. Lazy mornings. No more doubts, Jeffrey murmured. Bodies entwined. Back home. Life balanced. Careers flourished. We co-authored a blog on queer relationships, inspiring thousands. The shelter became our passion project. Funding drives, events. But life threw curves. Jeffrey's health scare returned. Routine check revealed a benign tumor. Surgery loomed. Fear gripped, but together we faced it. You're my rock, he said post-op, recovering in my arms. It deepened our bond, reminding of preciousness. Summer barbecues with neighbors, Max chasing frisbees. Community embraced us, block parties, pride events. Fall brought reflection. 10 years from that first kiss? Unimaginable then. Now, reality. One evening, walking Max, Jeffrey stopped. Jason, you've given me everything. Tears welled. And you opened my world. Our story wasn't fairy tale perfect. Scars from betrayals. Conflicts lingered as lessons. But in America's diverse tapestry, we found humanity. Love's power to heal, forgive, grow. As stars emerged, we headed home, hand in hand, ready for whatever came. Love, after all, knows no bounds.